So long, Pop. I'm off to check my tiger trap. I rigged a tuna fish sandwich yesterday, so I'm sure to have a tiger by now.
You like tuna fish, huh?
Tigers will do anything for a tuna fish sandwich.
Well, kind of stupid that way.
So, Dad, what do I do when I catch a tiger?
Bring it home and stuff it, Calvin. Can't you see I'm busy? Sheesh. No, really, I couldn't eat another bite. Good night, Calvin.
Night, Dad. Hey, aren't you going to say goodnight to Hobbs?
Good night, Hobbs. That's it? No story? No smooch?
Go to sleep, you sissy.
Show and tell is over, Calvin. Please put your tiger in your locker.
In my locker? He'll suffocate.
Well, at least put him under your chair.
Phew, that was a close one.
I'll say
7 plus 3.
73.
Outrage! Why should I go to bed? I'm not tired. It's only 7:30. This is tyranny.
Good night, Calvin.
Will you check for monsters under the bed?
No monsters. You're safe.
What about in the dresser?
Calvin, I'm sure there are no monsters in your dresser. Go to sleep.
Great. I'll bet that's where they all are. They'll come out and kill us as soon as we fall asleep.
So who's going to fall asleep?
Well, we'll just have to get the monsters first. You irritate them with this horn, and I'll nail them with a dart gun when they come out. Get ready, I hear one coming!
What's all the noise?
Hey, a monster in the hallway!
Dear, will you come up here a minute?
I think I wounded him. Give me the bat and I'll finish him off.
Episode 7. Watch you.
Bless you.
Sniff.
I think Garfield gave me a code.
Sniff. You what?
He gave me a code.
Pardon?
Gave me a code. Gave me a code.
You're young.
I know you're in there somewhere, Garfield. Out.
Next time I'll leave a wake-up call at the desk.
Do you know your cat is sitting on my meatloaf?
No, but if you hum a couple of bars, I'll fake it.
This is going to be a long week.
See you later, Garfield. I'm going to the grocery store. Very well, you may come along. Now, behave yourself in the grocery store, Garfield. I think I just turned a bull loose in a china shop. That's the last time I take you to the grocery store, Garfield. I've never been so humiliated in all my life.
So I ate the pastry section. Big deal. Darn, that was too easy. When he comes by, I'm going to round off that blondie head of his.
Slurp.
How can you win against someone who doesn't even know the rules of the game?
Here, Odie.
Isn't it a little cold to take Odie for a walk?
Nonsense. Things to do. 1. Wash car. 2. Do laundry.
The cool stream.
3. Undress Garfield.
I own a cat. And when you own a cat, eating a normal meal takes on an all new perspective. Knowing that somewhere in there is a cat hair with your name on it. I'm going to brush all your loose hair out, Garfield.
Garfield.
I suspected as much.
Garfield. Garfield, it's time for the cool stream. Streaming is what we love to do. That's why we're doing it today. And we'll do it till the end of time, folks. Here we go. It's time to do the show. Whoa! Ba-da-bow. It's the cool stream, everybody. It's the early show. We're not quite jazzed up quite yet, but we're here. We're ready to talk about the Sunday Funnies. Wow, it's going to be fun.
Sweet Garfield. What am
It's
I
going to be
supposed?
funny and fun. The Sunday Funnies. Hope you've got your mug of coffee and your donut and your breakfast sandwich. That sounds pretty good. Breakfast sandwich. We can get one of those. It's fun. Get your laptops open and stuff. People still do that, maybe. We're talking all about the Sunday Funnies today. In your local newspaper, you open it up and crack that open and get a big laugh for the day. Or you can just watch the show, because that's what we're going to talk about. Talking about them and reading some of them. It's going to be cool. It's the cool stream, everybody. It's time to do the show. Thanks for watching. We're live on the air. We don't really do much live stuff anymore. We're mostly doing podcasting these days. You check it out over on Patreon. But we're still doing the show too. It's a whole different kind of beast when you get in here in the cool stream. There's all funny videos, crazy, weird, cool stuff on the web. That's kind of what we do. If you're a first-time watcher, welcome in. It's the cool stream, everybody.
To do with all these cat hairs.
Make yourself an
It gets crazy in here when you start playing all these weird sounds and stuff. I don't know what the hell is going on, but this is just the intro part of things, and then we're going to click on over and start the show. Thanks for joining. Get in the cool lounge, throw some emotes out there. We got the cool stream emote going. We got a free sound that everybody can play. It's free to play, free for all, free sounds for all. And get in there, and it's a lot of fun. We're talking about the Sunday Funnies today. It's the early show. Oh, that needs more coffee. We also have the cool snack zone. And we got all kinds of other stuff, so check it out. It's the cool stream, everybody. That's the best I can do today. Wow. We're doing the Sunday Funnies. They're funny, they're cool, they're weird. You can find them in your local newspaper if that's still a thing. People still get the newspaper? I haven't had a newspaper in a long ass time. But there's the Sunday Funnies. I would go get one today. In fact, that's probably what I should have done. Go down the street to the gas station, get a funny paper, and read the latest ones. You can actually read them on the web, so that's kind of what we're going to do today. And of course, in the classic cool stream fashion, doing a topic such as this, before we get into it, we have to go back and before you learn about comics, you have to learn about the whole entire history of comics and comic strip specifically, before you can know anything else at all, before you're allowed to look at what is some of the newest stuff in comics. Comic strips, specifically in the Sunday Funnies, that comes in your local newspaper, if you still get that. People still get the newspaper. That's right, it's the cool stream. Welcome in. Don't really know what else to say. Might as well start the show. This is a fun website that I really enjoy a lot. I just discovered it. It's Don Markstein's Toonipedia. It's all about the toons. We're talking about comic strips. There's also comic books, and there's web comics. And don't you know, we'll be doing more episodes on that. I've got a ton of stuff that I've saved and bookmarked and stuff for later, but we're getting more into the comic strips today because there's some classic ones. And one feature of this website that is fun and cool is this is for Donmark's Tunepedia, Today in Tunes. Now this hasn't been updated, I guess, since February the 12th. I thought it would be updated today, but this still is an interesting fact. And this is an old-timey tune. On this day in 1933, Dagwood Bumstead was cut off from his family fortune for wanting to marry Blondie Poopadoop. I didn't know that was her name. We know Blondie mostly from the band with Debbie Harry and all their cool songs, but started as a cartoon, Blondie Poopadoop. It's kind of weird. Dagwood and Blondie got encaged with a Q. That's not the right spelling. Encaged 78 years ago today. Holy moly. They're both very old, and they're probably dead. So that's an interesting Today in Tunes. Blondie. Might as well start off with Blondie. We got some other old-timey tunes, because those are pretty cool. I got interested in those, as you do. Poopadoop. Cartoonist Murat Sheik Young, whose older brother Lyman did Tim Tyler's Luck. And I've heard of Tim Taylor's Luck. Usually he doesn't have too good of luck. He always gets electrocuted, bonked on the head. His friend Al Borland over at Tool Time. And this is off topic, but they took freaking Home Improvement off of Hulu. It was the worst day of my life, learning that they took Home Improvement off of Hulu. But anyway, doesn't have anything to do with comic strips except Tim Tyler. Tim Tyler's Luck. That's a different old-timey comic strip, I guess. But we're going to learn about Blondie. And we're going to get into some even older tunes. Blondie's probably still going strong, I guess. Blondie Boopadoop. I guess that's her real name, Blondie. It was not his intention to do a strip about suburban housewife. In fact, Blondie Boopadoop, her maiden name, and Betty Boop had not yet popularized the expression. Boop. Poop. Blondie Poop. And Betty Poop. That's just funny in and of itself. It was designed to follow in the footsteps of Young's earliest creations. And let's keep this music going. The footsteps of his earliest creation, The Affairs of Jane, Beautiful Babs, and Dumb Dora. All of which were pretty girl strips of the sort made popular by Polly and her pals. Though the strip started on September 8th, 1930, it wasn't until February 17th that Blondie finally married the steadiest of her boyfriends, the wealthy Dagwood Bumstead. But this is kind of interesting. I didn't know anything about this. But Dagwood isn't wealthy. What? I wonder if they had a Home Improvement comic strip. Now that would be good. I feel like that is kind of would be cool. Maybe I should start doing that. Start doing comics. Anyway, Dagwood isn't wealthy. That's too bad. Not anymore, he isn't. His father, railroad tycoon J. Balling Bumstead, disowned him for marrying the déclassée Blondie. What? To make ends meet, he had to go to work at the Dithers Construction Company, where he has slaved ever since. I think that's maybe the wrong way to phrase that. He's a wage slave for the Dithers. Probably wasn't doing too bad. A white guy in the 30s. He's probably doing pretty good. Living the suburban life. Now, living next door to Herb and Tootsie Woodley and clashing daily with Mr. Beasley, the mailman, it's hard to believe he was born into a different life. And their son's name was originally known as Baby Dumpling. So, Dagwood was a fail son, is what I'm reading here. He married the wrong woman, I guess. She was déclassée. Let's see if we can find some Dagwood. Dagwood Bumstead. And we're gonna go over here on Comics Kingdom. Bop, bop, bop. And see if we can look that up. Blondie. So I used to be confused about Blondie because I thought it was all of the guy eating his big sandwich. And then come to find out, I was like, why is he named Blondie? He doesn't look blonde, but it's named after his wife. My wife! She's D Class A. Here it is, Blondie from August 7th. They're still doing it. Unless this is a rerun. And let's see if we can we zoom in on this? Shout out to the Comics Kingdom. Oh Lord, can't read this at all. Bop, 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 bop. Let's get some good music here. And here we go. Dagwood, he's on his freaking computer. He's doing construction project management or something. Here comes the boss. The boss is thinking. He says, I'm almost afraid to ask. Bumstead, have you finished that important contract that's due by the end of the day? And then Bumstead's like, which one, boss? Talks like that. He's dumb. He's a fail son. People say that. Don't you write things down? Says the boss. And then Dagwood says, I'm sorry, boss. You handed me several contracts to work on. And the boss says, never mind. I'll take care of it myself. And then the boss says, Marlene, you keep a record of when each contract is due, don't you? And Marlene, she's also got a nice computer. Of course. Which one are you looking for? And then the boss is like, he doesn't know what the hell's going on. Bumstead, somehow this is all your fault. That's pretty good. So this is a relatable strip. Boss is giving you hell. Turns out he doesn't even know what the hell is going on. And Dagwood is on the computer now, but he still looks old-timey. That's interesting. This one looks to be in Spanish, I guess. Pepita. Here's the one from August 1st. And that was the Sunday Funny for Blondie. This is a short one, though. Come and get it. Says is that a waiter? Come and get it. Clang, clang. I think the food's pretty good here. And then Blondie says, yes, but I'm not crazy about the service. Okay. We hate bosses. I don't know about this. Food's ready. Served a damn Geico ad. Oh no. Interesting. What are the comments on this? This should be good. We've got comments on the Blondie strip. Bumstead likes it since it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, aka Glutton's Gala. That's true. He always eats the big sandwich. So he's famous for eating a big sandwich. And Sailor 46 says, in 74 years, I have found that you really can't taste ambiance. If the place is clean and smells okay, I'll eat there at least once. No one's wearing a mask and they're not 6 feet apart. Oh no. Give me an extra spoonful of social distance sauce. I miss having a cafeteria in town. Not been to a buffet line since virus hit. We know precautions taken place. Needs to be more of the old furs to dip up. What the hell? Not speaking of the extra as COVID-19 tipping. Anyone know how much that is? What in the world? Not been to a buffet line since virus hit. We know precautions taken place. Needs to be more of the old furs to dip up. Not speaking of the extra as... What the hell? I guess this maybe this person's using a translation thing. Don't understand what they're saying. Cab R2RB. That's right, brother. Cab 2RB. This is why that virus is growing fast. As you point out, there's lots of public... We've not been back to buffet line. Too afraid. Weird. You can be all up in the comments of the latest Blondie comic strip. I love cafeterias. Okay. Not realistic, Dagwood at the back of the line. Get real. They're talking all about this is not what Dagwood would do. He would be at the top of the line at the buffet. Okay, let's talk about some other cartoons. Some cartoons. And this is a cool list too. We'll get back to this one. If anyone can think of a cartoon that comic strip that they want, I may have it on the list and maybe not, but we can also go through this. It's the early stream. This is pretty cool. We can go through the list over here at Toonopedia, a vast repository of toonological knowledge. And you can go through the list and look at all the comics. There's comic book comics and there's comic strips, but we're only doing comic strips today. Dudley Do-Right, Earthworm Jim. So there's a whole long list of comics. You can just go through and click on one. The Mighty Atom. Oh, here we go. How intensive getting in here. Oh, la la la. How intensive. Subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 5 months. Wow. Thanks for the subscription. I'm driving back from Saginaw to Lansing, and I'm very sad I'm missing the Funnies episode. Oh no. Aww. Mary Worth, that's a good one. Oh no. This is a how intensive specialty, the Funnies. Oh no, he's driving and playing the sound alerts. Major Hoople. Let's see, Marvin the Martian. See if I can find Mary and Jane and Sniffles. Mary Worth. Master. The Mask. Now that's just a regular old comic. There she is. Mary Worth. She's a continuation of Martha Orr's Apple Mary. That's from King Features Syndicate. It's a series, the series were the subject of a great deal of critical fan interest. There would be no discrepancy, as its history would long since have been charted with precision bordering on obsession. But the strip's many longtime readers include few of the comic scholars who research such matters. All they're interested in is engaging stories. Mary Worth has been meeting their needs for decades, but they aren't the kind of folks who give comic strips detailed write-up reference works. What? Other than this guy is mad that the fans of he's pulling out of a restaurant. He's mad that the Mary Worth heads, the Worthers, aren't big time geeks about the comic strip. They just, what's wrong with these people? They're just reading the comic and moving on. They're not making a crazy website about it like this guy's doing. It's kind of weird. Okay, let's get to the history of comics. It's a trashy soap opera comic. I could never get into those because it would only be like the strip and it'd be 2 panels and it would continue the story that had been going on since God knows when. Since the beginning of time. Prince Valiant. Here we go. These are the comics for today. We got Zits. We're going to come back to this. Defenders of the Earth. Mallard Fillmore. Oh, we love this guy. Zippy. Zippy the Pinhead. We'll probably do some more, a different episode about political cartoons. King Features Syndicate. They're a syndicate for comics. You can get on the premium. They're on TikTok for Comics Kingdom. Alright, let's get into the history of comics. And where did they come from? And we're going to have this guy tell us all about it. And we just have a different background here, but that's fine. Doodle-doo. Origin of comic books.
Oh, hi! You caught me managing all my pills because I'm so old. Speaking of old, let's talk about the platinum age of comics.
Some Ziggy. Wow.
Comic tropes.
This guy's gonna tell us all about comics.
Comic tropes.
Wow.
Oh, yeah!
He's only gonna talk about comics.
Welcome to Comic Tropes. I'm your host, Chris. Superman debuted in 1938, ushering in the golden age of comic books. But of course, if we look at comic books as a whole, of course they didn't emerge fully formed at that point in time. There was an age before the golden age of comic books when comic books
The
were
Bronze
brand new
Age
and they
comic
were
books.
introducing the conventions that would become part of comic books. We're talking about things like panel-to-panel storytelling and word balloons to identify dialogue coming from characters. This is the stuff I want to talk about today. It's an age when America could not get enough comics, and it even launched a war of sorts between two wealthy newspaper magnates.
Now, this is interesting.
Let's talk today about the Platinum Age of comics.
The history of comics,
Leading up to the Platinum Age of comics was the so-called Victorian Age of comics from 1884 through 1896. British and American illustrators created caricatures and cartoons like Journey to the Gold Diggings by Jeremiah
And some of them were
satirical
Jeremiah
magazines carried these
Saddlebags.
strips in titles like Puck, Judge, and Life.
Puck,
But
those are
these
some of my
magazines
favorite
were too expensive to reach the masses.
And some of them were
In
offensive, so
America, early
just ignore
comic
that
strips were
stuff.
exclusively published in newspapers as supplements. The new printing techniques emerging made newspapers cheap to produce and to distribute. Newspapers were the most widely distributed form of news as the century came to a close,
It was
making
like the
publishers
internet
like
of the day.
William Randolph Hearst and Joseph Pulitzer very wealthy, powerful, and influential men. In 1887, Hearst took over managing his father's newspaper, the San
Hearst.
Francisco
You know this
Examiner,
guy?
which had been acquired 7 years earlier as repayment of a gambling debt. Hearst hired the best writers of the time, like Mark Twain and Jack London, and also political cartoonist Homer Davenport. Hearst's rises and falls in fortune would later be the
Citizen
main
Kane.
inspiration for Orson Welles'
You know,
film
movies.
Citizen Kane.
I don't know how to run a newspaper, Mr. Thatcher. I just try everything I can think of.
Charles, you know perfectly well there's not the slightest proof of this.
In 1895, Hearst bought the New York Morning Journal, retitling it the New York Journal, and began competing head-to-head with the popular New York World, run by Joseph Pulitzer. Joseph Pulitzer was a poor Jewish immigrant from Hungary who came to America at age 17 as a recruit in Massachusetts to be a soldier in the Civil War. After the war, he became a successful reporter and
Did the
began
famous
buying
Pulitzer
newspapers.
Prize,
He
too.
married into a wealthy family and bought the struggling New York World in 1883. He turned it into a success by focusing on sensational stories, crime,
getting
war,
bombed.
and natural disasters. In 1895, Pulitzer hired artist Richard F. Outcall and introduced the popular comic strip The Yellow Kid. It would shortly debut in the new Sunday
the
color
first
pages
comic
and
ever
help the newspaper grow
invented.
from a circulation of 15,000 to 600,000, making it the most popular newspaper in the world. But newspapers all covered the same information, so how would publishers gain a competitive edge over their competition?
With
Well,
cartoons.
2 ways. One was provocative editorials, opinion pieces essentially. The second was to carry the best exclusive
Carry the
comics.
best
And the most
cartoons
popular
ever.
comic strip of all was The Yellow Kid, created by Richard
This is
F.
the most
Outcall.
popular comic
The Yellow
strip
Kid
ever.
became popular in the pages of
Kinda
the
weird.
New York World. In 1889, Pulitzer began publishing comics.
We
in
loved
the
the racist
In
comics
1892,
back then.
the Chicago Inter-Ocean debuted a 4-color insert, the first color in newspaper. Pulitzer saw
the
this
original
and
Sunday
instantly
Funnies.
bought a 4-color press, and the World began including a color insert in spring of 1893. On September 16, 1894, a 6-panel, full-page comic strip by artist Richard Outcall debuted within the color insert. While it wasn't the first time multiple panels had been used to create a comic,
What's
it
this one
was
about?
among the earliest. The earliest multiple strip comic had come out in the early 1830s by Swiss artist Rudolf Topfer, but the technique wasn't common for decades to come. Richard Outcall was born in Lancaster, Ohio in 1863.
Kind of interesting. Comic tropes. The first original comic book was in the 1800s. The Yellow Kid. And it was this weird kid. You've heard of the Samurai Kid. This is the Yellow Kid. How the Yellow Kid fueled the Pulitzer-Hearst rivalry. So it's about this weird kid and a bunch of little vagrant children running wild in the streets and saying funny stuff. And he's kind of freaky. He's the buck-toothed street urchin who graced the comic strips in the latter half of the 1890s. And he appeared in the strip called Hogan's Alley. He soon became known as the Yellow Dugan Kid for the omnipresent oversized yellow nightshirt which bore his dialogue, quippy observations in a broad New York dialect. There was a Yellow Kid version of everything. Playing cards, ice cream, dolls, sheet music, even cigarettes. Historians cite the Yellow Kid as the first example of modern merchandising, a success which many attribute to the fact that he was a children's character marketed to appeal to adults. Doesn't that sound familiar? Bart's kind of like Bart Simpson and SpongeBob SquarePants. Coincidence? So William Randolph Hearst and Pulitzer were going back and forth in the comic wars, and they had competing comics. They gave their competing Yellow Kids more and more page. Battling of the Yellow Kids represented a trend in the decline of journalistic integrity. Oh no. And so they had all the sensationalistic newspaper stuff, ill-researched and often untrue reporting, unmemorably calling it new journalism and nude journalism. When the competing papers finally sunk so low as to replace news with content with comic strips, he had his name Yellow Kid Journalism, which is eventually shortened to Yellow Journalism. The kid symbolism fits the term still today, slapdash journalism aimed at the kid in us all. That's kind of interesting. I'm sure he was a racist character. I don't know. I'm not sure, and I can't. I don't know if I want to find out. But there is another comic book. Let's see if I can find it up here. There's some interesting old-timey comics. Here it is. There's a different kind of racist thing they did back then against German people. So they made fun of all different immigrants. And this was a comic book called The Katzenjammer Kids. One of the earliest ethnic comic strips. But they're German, so it's okay. It's fine, we can make fun of them now, I guess. One of the first ethnic comic strips. 1897 followed the antics of German twins Hans and Fritz and their mother, Mama Katzenjammers. It may be viewed as offensive by today's standard, but during its heyday, it was a very clever depiction of German culture. Uh-oh. Well, we're not trying to say it's okay to be racist against everybody. But it is interesting to think about how people were portrayed back then. But anyways, the first ethnic cartoon about German people was from a German artist, so it's okay. Who made the comic strip. He sold his comic drawings to big newspapers, and he went to the newspaper for William Randolph Hearst. Let's see, the Katzenjammer Kids, an adventurous German family. Created a family with two mischievous twin boys, which he called Hans and Fritz. Most of the storylines centered on the antics of the twins and the pranks that they liked to pull on others. In most cases, the butt of their jokes and antics was the captain. So the kids liked to prank Hans and Fritz. My favorite SNL sketch. So they liked to prank the police, so that's good. They were against the police, pranking them. The captain was an easy target, and the boys seemed to enjoy getting a rise out of him. Each story concluded with the twins being punished for their pranks, often spanked by their mother. So, and also child abuse was funny back then. But all of their voices, I guess, they had a weird accent. Miss Twiddle says der equator is right over there. Really? So weird. They're progressive because they hate cops. Written in a German accent? He wanted the readers to really embrace the German aspect of the Katzenjammer Kids. Therefore, he wrote the dialogue phonetically to show the accent that Hans and Franz would have used. Hans and Fritz, I mean. It was easy for him to do. He was a German. All the W's became V's. In addition, he added in some comic dialect and slang terms, such as Dummkopf. It may have been stereotyping, but the comic strip's fan didn't seem offended. Of course not. Back in those days, twin riots, and they loved to prank the police and shoot fireworks at him. Interesting. They're part of the Antifa now. Dummkopf. That's pretty cool. And they were so popular. There was a live-action musical version in the 20s. And we'll look at some other... Whoa, they're kind of weird. We'll look at some other live-action versions of comic books here in a minute. I've got some other old-timey comics. Let's see what we got here in the video format, which we love so much. Whoa. It's Puff Deluxe subscribing at Tier 1. Subscribed for 17 months. What? Late to the cool stream. Thanks for subscribing for 17 months. Holy crap. Back in those days, people didn't get offended so easily, unlike today. That's right. We're getting into it. The Sunday Funnies. Let's see. Got some old timing. I guess I got another thing about the yellow kid. So we haven't figured out if that's racist or not, so I guess it's okay to play. Some guy, he's trying to bring it back.
Most daily newspapers, there's still a comic strip
Sunday
section.
Funny. Stand
Now
by.
a Youngstown man famous for his animated drawings wants to bring back America's oldest comic strip. First
Comic
News
strip.
reporter Jacob Thompson has that story. He joins us live in studio. His story is new at 11.
Chris Yambar considers himself a writer, an artist, a publisher, and more. He's done work with multiple comics, including The Simpsons, Popeye, and Mr. Magoo. Now he wants to reintroduce the original comic strip.
Mr. Magoo.
Meet Mickey Dugan, aka the Yellow Kid.
Anyone who is a student of comic books and comic art and comic strips
And Boney.
knows about the Yellow Kid.
Chris Yambar.
But in case you don't know, the Yellow Kid
He's
is a
got an
comic
eye
character.
patch on.
He's a young Irish boy who lives in the
Oh, he's
slums
Irish.
of New York City
Okay.
during the late 1800s.
Things that were funny were getting hit in the rear end with a board with a nail in it. You know, getting kicked in the pants by a donkey.
The Yellow Kid was published for 4 years inside of Joseph Pulitzer's New York World. Being one of the only sources of entertainment, it was well received.
And there were people who, I mean, they ran out to buy the paper to find
They
out
went
what the
wild
comic strip
for
was
this.
for that day. If you got a chuckle out of something, it was worth your nickel.
So Yambar wanted to bring the classic comic back. About 6 years ago,
Happened to his
he
eye.
partnered
He's
with an
playing around with
editorial
that stick
artist
with the
named
nail
Randy
in it.
Bish.
When I mentioned it to him several years back, he
Son of a
looked at
bitch.
me like he
Definitely
had fire in his
racist.
pants. I mean, he was like, "What?" And
It's
I
racist,
said,
not towards
"Yeah,
the people
you
we
know,
expected
the Yellow
it to
Kid
be.
is kind of a dream project." He goes, "I'm in."
The plan is to stick
Those-
to the original cartoon,
those silly
with the yellow shirt that
street
goes down to his
urchins
feet to the witty phrases
lived on the
shirt,
streets in New York.
even keeping his bald head.
Back then, in the late 1800s, almost every child of the slums had their head shaved. Their
And
mothers
that's
would
funny.
shave their head because they didn't want them to get lice.
After multiple roadblocks, they are about ready to release the
And that's funny that these kids were poor and starved on the streets and had to have their heads shaved. Remember those old olden days?
the comic book.
Extreme
all
poverty.
Just in time.
Here's another bit of timing. His official 125th birthday.
Just another day in the
comes
life
in
of the
February.
Irish.
So here we go.
Here we go.
Chris Yambar tells me that the book will be out sometime next week.
All right,
If you're
can't wait to see the
interested in
book.
Ordering one, we put a link to his website in the story at WKBN.com.
All right.
Live in the studio,
Like
Jacob
and
Thompson,
subscribe.
WKBN, 27 First News.
It's pretty funny. This is kind of I found another fun comic that is interesting. It's about a couple guys from back in the old timey days. Mutt and Jeff. Domestic difficulties. It's kind of fun. So let's watch it. We'll do our own sound. Here he is playing the banjo. La 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 la. see if I can get some sound effects loaded up here. He's playing the banjo. I'm going out. Yes, dear. Get some banjo music. Yes, dear. Go right to bed. Boom, boom. Hello, Jeff. My wife's going out tonight. I promised to go right to bed, see? But and there's Jeff. He's got a big mustache. Yes, go on. Go off. But you come down to the house and wait outside till she goes. What's he up to? To get that camera in my house. Then we'll go to the Dutchman's. And there goes the wife. Wife's always be going out. Putting their big hats on. Oh. She's looking good. She's checking out her derriere. Dude, this is what it's like to be married. Get in the bed, fully clothed. There he goes. He's pretending to be asleep. You gotta trick your wife. This is a cartoon version of the strip. And there's Jeff. He's waiting. Come on, she's gone. And then there's a long sequence of him crawling down the drain pipe. It's kind of fun, but so I'm just gonna fast forward through this part. He crawls down the drain pipe, and then, cheese it, she's coming back. Oh no! He's got to crawl all the way back up the damn drain pipe, and the wife's coming back. Now he's got to pretend like he's asleep. Yes. You gotta trick your wife. Okay. So now he's gotta come back out. He's gonna crawl down the drain pipe again. Okay, fast forward through that. And now they're off. Oh, she came back. There they go. It's a very long comic. This part's kind of funny. They go to the bar. There are a couple of drunks. These guys. 3 a.m. La 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 la. They're hammered. Nothing wrong with having one or two. This is probably back during the Prohibition days. His wife was a damn teetotaler. Whoa. He's drunk. You go home. Now you go home. Dude. That's me after one drink. These guys are hammered. La 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 la. They're effed up. The scourge of the real scourge of the USA is guys going out and getting drunk off of the devil's water, the devil's whiskey. Get up there. You're gonna get caught by your wife. It's funny, alcoholism. Funny joke. Oh, you can't get up the drain pipe now. Oh, crap. Now let's see what happens to him. This is really long. Come on, Jeff. My name's Jeff. Oh, that's Jeff. Good lord, he's hammered. Jeff, my wife thinks the world of you. You sneak up and see if she's asleep. All right. Jeff is such a good friend. Uh-oh. This isn't going to end well for Jeff. He's going to get concussed. Knock, knock. Bonk. Oh, no. He's about to walk in on the wife cheating. Now that would be funny. It's alright, she's dead to the world. What? Thanks, good night, Jeff. What the hell does that mean? Jeff. It's gonna get him in big trouble. He got the crap beaten out of him. Well, it's all over, I guess. I'll go now. Whoa! Holy crap. Jeez. My wife hates me. That's pretty good. That's a good punchline for that. That really paid off. That really paid off. My wife hates me. Alright, let's check out another old-timey one. Then we're going to get some other ones. Old Mutt and Jeff getting hammered over there. My wife hates me. It's very subversive. The idea a wife could hate a husband was so absurd. It's very subversive humor. And this is a weird one here that I found. Ba-da-bong. This is kind of a weird one. Remembering Caspar Milquetoast, the original snowflake. He spoke softly and got hit with a big stick. Caspar Milquetoast, a weak man for every season. At one time, the term milquetoast was the go-to slam for bullies looking to belittle the meek. While it sounds like some sort of French bread dish, the term originated with an early 20th century comic strip star named Caspar Milquetoast, who, through the subtle brutalities of everyday life, became a sort of hero for the timid soul. Original Milquetoast was the creator of H.T. Webster, known as Webby to his friends. Grew up in Wisconsin. He produced a comic strip about this guy, Caspar Milquetoast. Oh well, had to buy a new hat anyway, might as well get one today, because his hat landed on the grass. Oh no, it's a freaking snowflake. The wind blows off his hat. That's pretty funny. No loitering. And Caspar Milquetoast is like Mr. Milquetoast shifts from first to high. He doesn't want to be caught loitering. So this is the type of humor that was pretty funny back in the days. These comics are too big. Mr. Milquetoast reads on the label of a bottle of medicine that each spoonful contains 4 million friendly microbes. And then Mr. Milquetoast says, "Gracious, suppose there was one who wasn't friendly." Such a freaking millennial over here. And he's a germaphobe, I guess, too. How you gonna vote this election, huh? And then Mr. Milquetoast says, "Why, I don't get a vote. I've been in prison." Stir, I mean, and I've lost my citizenship. Oh no. Mr. Milquetoast can't vote because he's been to prison. So this is a good example. We need what is it called? Giving people the right to vote who've been into prison, like Mr. Milquetoast. Caspar Milquetoast. Now this is kind of a weird one. Mr. Milquetoast never wears jewelry, and because his wife says, "Oh, Caspar, here's that lovely swastika stick pin I gave you years ago. Why don't you wear it?" And then he's like, oh crap. Oh, the barber will kill him if he votes for the wrong guy. Okay. So Mr. Milquetoast had a swastika pin that he can't wear anymore. It's pretty funny. Mr. Milquetoast. I'm gonna read some more of these. Let's see. This one was kind of weird too. Mr. Coffee Nerves. I don't know what this one's about. It's Mr. Coffee Nerves. Dad gives a good tip, and Mr. Coffee Nerves loses another victim. So this is something about being anti-coffee, which we're pro-coffee here on the show. So here's Dad gives a good tip, and Mr. Coffee loses another victim. Give you one last chance, Jack. If you lose your temper again, you're through. Well, it's a good thing you're letting me play tonight. My dad came all the way from Washington to see the game. I guess that's the coach. And Mr. Coffee Nerve says, tell this coach he doesn't know enough to teach a kindergarten class to play tiddlywinks. What? That's enough of your rough stuff, Walton. I saw you elbow that man in the face. Now get out of the game. Mr. Coffee Nerve says, tell this dumb referee if he's going to play on their side, he'd better put on a basketball suit. Mr. Coffee Nerves is really being a bad influence right now. And the coach says, and you've had your chance, Jack, and you fell down. I can't use you on this team any longer. Mr. Coffee Nerve says, that's the first thing he ever said. Tell him you're sick of this sissy game anyways. Jeez, what is he trying to do, this kid? I'm Jack Walton's father. Can you spare a minute, coach? Certainly, Dr. Walton. You were captain here in 2009, weren't you? 2009. Sorry, what happened tonight? What are those old fogies plotting about? Probably cooking up some dumb scheme. Too bad about Jack. He's a star player, but I'm afraid he's breaking my no coffee training rule. He's so nervous and irritable. Jeez, Jack is jacked up on coffee. Mr. Coffee Nerves is giving him all the bad advice. Coffee Nerves pressuring you to murder someone. Let me talk to him, coach. We doctors know how to handle these coffee nerves cases. Uh-oh, I was afraid of this. Looks bad for me, Mr. Coffee Nerves. It's Coffee Nerves, all right, son. I think you better cut out coffee and drink postum instead. Drink some postum, whatever the hell that is. Are you effed up on coffee? Living back then must have been a constant hell. Boy, I'm going to like postum. Has that got Alfredo or marinara on that postum? I never dreamed it was such a delicious drink. This must be an ad for postum. Wait while I wire Dad to want him to know I've been elected basketball captain. Yay! I think I'll wire him too and tell him what a fine disposition you've acquired since you've switched to postum. Okay, so this is just an ad for postum. Take a tip from me, if you've got coffee nerves, switch to postum. Damn it, this is a sponsored content over here, Mr. Coffee Nerves. He's a vaudevillian apparition whose arch nemesis is made of whole wheat and bran and tastes quite delicious when combined with warm milk. Postum, the coffee alternative. All right. Mr. Coffee Nerves. It's pretty good. Damn it. I thought I was reading about this weird ghost who's giving people bad advice. It's just Mr. Coffee Nerves. Cut my coffee nerves with a handful of Xanax. Oh no. Mother's little helper. That's pretty good, Mr. Coffee Nerves. All right. What are some other cartoons that we got lined up here? We looked at all the old racist ones, and let's see what we got for videos. Mr. Coffee Nerves. How about this one? Snuffy Smith. That's a good comic from sort of the old-timey days. You can still buy Postum. This is Snuffy Smith. A lot of these are made into cartoons.
What's out there? Mountain lion? Big grizzly bear?
Postum was a student of John Harvey Kellogg who believed that caffeine was unhealthy.
Must be something mighty ferocious.
Postum. It's a powdered roasted grain beverage. Caffeine-free beverage. It's a post-cereal. It was a healthy alternative to coffee. Wow. Wow. So they were just trying to sell more cereal. Interesting.
I'm ashamed of you, Bullet. You bodacious coward. Scared of your own.
Snuffy Smith. So they made a bunch of cartoons out of these old comics. No. This is our Sunday Funnies. Snuffy Smith. He's an old hillbilly.
Don't move. I'm coming. Great balls of fire. This is the last straw.
God, now he's gonna put his dog to sleep. Health dog for club. Health club for dogs.
What can you do for it? Everything. Be you certain? Look at the photos on our walls, if you will. Dogs from here have gone on to glory. Some have even gone on to Hollywood and become stars. Algernon here does all the lassie's tricks. Butch here was an ordinary police dog. When we got through with him, he became chief of police.
Oh no.
Lydia here was in terrible condition. And now she models for an airline. Okay? He's all yours.
Snuffy Smith.
Excellent, Mr. Bullet.
Excellent.
6, 7, 8, 9. Very good, Mr. Bullet. That's all. This way, gentlemen.
It's a strong dog.
Where's my dog? He's ready, Mr. Smith.
My dog. Here we go. How strong the dog is.
Balls of fire. We could have done a better job if we had him here for the whole day. You done enough. Come here, Bullet. Come on, dog. We're going home.
Oh, crap.
I would advise you to say please, Mr. Bullet.
The dog has become overpowered.
Oh, Bullet, you just look fine.
Well,
Oh,
that's
God.
enough fiddle-faddle. Bullet, fetch some wood for the fire. I said fetch some firewood, dog.
The man said you ought to say please on the pot.
Please! Great balls of fire. I'll show this critter who's boss around here. Are you gonna fetch some firewood or am I gonna whoop you here and now?
Great balls of fire.
That does it.
Wow. Kick my dog's ass. Some animal abuse. I'll show him, Snuffy.
Honey Pot's dinner won't be fit for a dog. Or will it?
Nah. He got owned by his dog. Snuffy. Let's see. Well, let's get into some Beetle Bailey. Let's watch well, first, let's check out the latest Beetle Bailey. And then we'll watch the cartoon. It got pretty weird. And they made all kinds of cartoons out of the cartoons. Find them in your newspaper, and then next thing you know, they're on TV. Let's see. We can go back to Comics Kingdom and see the latest. See the latest and greatest Beetle Bailey, because that's one of the most notable ones here. If we got any other comics requests for the Sunday Funnies, leave them in the comments down below. She was too into the dog. It's kind of weird. Here we go, the latest one. Mort Walker. He's still cranking them out over there. And then Beetle Bailey is still in the army. Here it is, Beetle Bailey. You ate your breakfast, Otto. Good boy. And that's the dog. He's cute. That's all about dogs. Go have some fun. Wouldn't you like to be a dog, Beetle? Heck no, what a miserable life. And the dog says, huh? And then he goes, he's wrong. Dogs can sleep whenever and whenever they like. Wherever and whenever they like. Just like this dog. And we make it friends everywhere we go. We eat at the finest restaurants. Lâcher très cher. He's eating out of the trash can. And then the lady comes up and says, hi, Otto. And we get lots of love. I pity the people. Oh no, Beetle Bailey is digging a mass grave for the civilian casualties from the latest war that he's getting into. Kathy? Well, yeah, we got some Kathy. Spider-Man. Let's see. They're all in Spanish too. Beto al Recluta. Let's see. There's this one with the chef guy. My mom filled all her meals with love and homemade goodness. And then Beetle says you won't find those ingredients around here. They got the weird, gross guy cooking up the slop and the mush from the mess hall. So that's Beetle Bailey. He's still in the army for some reason. And I don't know what, not sure what war he was supposed to be involved in. If he ever went to war. Or if he's just stationed at the old army base and you can't ever catch a break from the Sarge. Can't ever catch a break from the damn Sarge. And here they're all sticking their tongues out, and then the Sarge says the general is looking for the guy who went by in a car sticking his tongue out at him. Oh no. They're gonna get court-martialed for that. He should be in Iraq. He was in World War II, I guess. Thanks for the ride. Can you find your way back? Sure, I just go back the way we came. And then he's so freaking stupid he's driving in reverse. I guess these are the guys that didn't go to war. They had to stay back at the base because they're too stupid. It's definitely what the army's like. Beetle Bailey. I don't know if they had any real commentary on that. I can't imagine that subject was breached at any point. Here it is in Spanish. Encendar una fogata? Claro, sargento. Tenemos cerillos. Esto es más divertido. This is more fun. He's using the magnifying glass. That's funny. Oh yeah, the 9/11 stuff. The general is looking for the guy who tried to rat out the right-wing hate group. Let's see. I think I have some stuff about the 9/11 cartoons. Those are pretty funny. There's a good Snuffy Smith one. Let's see if I can find it here in me old tabs. We'll look through all the tabs. And we got some new stuff from the Far Side guy, so that's cool. We'll check that out in a minute. And also the mirth and misogyny of Andy Capp. The Far Side returns. Let's see. Thought I had one all about the 9/11 comics. La 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 la. Those were pretty funny. Let's see. Alright, I guess I'll just Google it. Cool stream powered by Google. Comic strips. List of comics about 9/11 attacks. Cartoonists remember 9/11. Here we go. Thecomicstrips.com. Luann. There she was, dressed up as a fireman. Oh, these are all from all the different... Mother Goose and Grimm. I was just thinking of all the brave heroes who lost their lives on 9/11. And then the dog says, dogs can sense fear, but we also know courage. I don't know some of these. Speed bump. I've had the scar for 10 years and it still hurts. It says 9/11 on it. Speed bump. Strange brew. That's a good one. And here the dogs are gonna let the firemen piss on the fire hydrant first. Non sequitur. Looks like I got some of those too. There's one. Osama bin Laden visit this guy's dream. I'm looking for the ones that. Isn't there a Snuffy Smith one? No. Gathered from over 18 leading newspapers. He loves the firemen. Okay, this isn't all the ones. I think the funniest one is the Snuffy Smith. Snuffy Smith. 9/11. It's heroic to be in a building that blows up. Sunday Funnies get serious about 9/11. The hole in my heart left by the victims of 9/11. Okay, can't find the whole thing. Anyway, they did a big tribute on 9/11, all of the comics and stuff. National Day of Service and Remembrance, even Dennis the Menace. Snuffy Smith, How I Met My Wife. Snuffy Smith to be enshrined in Shaw Hall of Fame. Oh, this is a different guy. Baseball guy. Snuffy Smith. Okay, so he had a hole in his heart because of the victims of 9/11. Anyway, and then there's Laugh Squatch, so we'll get to that maybe. Let's see. We were on the comics thing, the Beetle Bailey, and then we were going to talk about... Let's just go ahead and talk about the Far Side is back. Let's see what's the latest Far Side comics are going on. The Far Side returns to a weird world. And this is the stuff we need now from Gary Larson. The Far Side. Debuted in 1980. And then he disappeared after 1995. Busying himself with jazz guitar and presumably enjoying life. Sounds great. Just retire and not have to do it anymore. He didn't publish a single Far Side for 25 years until this month, and he published 3 online. And now he's working on it with his tablet. So that's cool. We can get a lot of comics done that way. And let's see the Far Side. Far Side. Okay. Andrews McNeil Universal uses third-party advertising to do the cookies. Okay. All right, this is the new stuff from Get Fresh from Larson's Lab. New stuff. This is the corner of the website New Stuff. It's not a resurrection of Far Side daily cartoons Well, not exactly anyway. Like the proverbial tiger in its stripes, I'm pretty much stuck with my sense of humor. Aren't we all? Thing is, I thoroughly enjoyed my career as a syndicated cartoonist, and I hope, in spirit at least, we had some laughs together. We certainly did. Through all those years, The Far Side. But after 15 years of meeting deadlines, you know the rest. I retired from syndication. After moving to other interests, drawing just wasn't on my to-do list. Things changed. But then a few years ago, turning to the subject, something happened in my life, and it started with a clogged pen. Despite my retirement, I still had intermittent connections with cartooning, including the personal Christmas card. So you do a card with Santa. So here's some of the new stuff. Larson's Lab. Oh, that's kind of cool. So he's using the iPad now. Taxidermist. And all the... Okay, so that's pretty funny. Instead of a taxi, it's the taxidermist. Okay, Zorky, this one is all yours. Take a deep breath, relax, and give him one. Short blast. Remember, this is probe and release. That's pretty funny. And we did alien abductions last week, so that we're definitely we definitely like that with the aliens and stuff. Bears eating the Cub Scouts. It's twisted as hell. Some of the stuff he comes up with. So anyway, that's the new stuff of The Far Side. Let's see if he's got any old ones. Tell the cicadas to shut up. Here we go. Fumbling for his recline button, Ted unwittingly instigates a disaster. Oh no. All the different buttons on there. Press the wrong one and the wings might fall off. It's the gritty Far Side reboot. Gritty and the Philly Fanatic are there. Bowler's Hell. Wow, another split. What a bummer. Anyway, that's the far. That's the far. Not quite getting as big of laughs as some of the other ones, but you get one of those Far Side books, and you get all kinds of classic cartoons. You can read those while you're on the toilet. That's kind of what they're good for. Okay, so let's look at some other comics. Got a wild animal in here. Mother Goose and Grimm. Let's see what they're up to. Mother Goose and Grimm. Buzz Buzz. Chomp. Times fun when you're having flies. That's Mother Goose and Grimm. Okay, I need to subscribe to Comics Kingdom to get all the latest comics. Okay, let's do a video. We're losing steam fast, so we need a boost. Let's see if we have anything funny. Let's see, someone mentioned Kathy. I think I had some Kathy stuff. We have an interview with the Beetle Bailey guy. That could be funny. How Garfield is drawn. Let's see, there's the Kathy cartoon. Mother Goose and Grimm.
Take music.
Mud wrestling. Yeah.
Wait, come on. This is supposed to be bringing us
Kathy.
together, Irving.
Okay. It worked. Yeah, it worked.
Come on now. Okay, listen.
I can't help it.
I say something that's important to me.
Right.
And if you agree, you move your chair closer.
All right.
Okay, and if you disagree, then you move your chair farther away.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's see. My job. That's important to me.
Carburetors.
Oh, the office awards dinner in 2 weeks.
Stock car racing.
Getting nominated. I would love that.
Fly fishing, yeah.
Sharing! Oh, they're announcing the nominees this week, honey. I feel closer to you already. Of the 169 million adults in this country, nearly 37 million are single. 16,350,000 women and 2
It's
men.
a Kathy cartoon.
I'm joking,
fun.
of course. Ha ha. Actually, man or woman, this is one of the most amazing times in history to be single. I should know. My name is Kathy. I spent last Saturday night celebrating my Employee of the Year nomination with a box of Oreo cookies. My best friend Andrea was furious because my boyfriend Irving said he was going to be out of town for the awards banquet.
The man is a coward, Kathy. He can't stand to see you win.
My mother was furious because Irving was going to be out of town.
Your father would have walked barefoot through a blizzard to be by my side when he was courting me.
My office was furious because Irving was going to be out of town.
What's the point of having a relationship if we can't check out the guy?
Out of
The
town.
impetus for
I
Sex in the
accepted
City.
that. In fact, some little part of me thought it might be good to go to the banquet.
Kathy's getting laid.
This is my achievement.
This is good.
My
Dancing.
moment. This is the kind of intense
This is
personal
female
triumph that
empowerment.
women in my generation have worked for all of our lives.
14 more of your friends just announced their engagements, Kathy.
Oh no.
Traitors, how could they do this to me, Mom? According to this, millions of women are getting sick of the independent life and are discovering the joys of good old-fashioned commitment.
A woman who has accomplished something on her own first will be happier all of her life.
Single women have more cellulite.
Where did you get that?
I made it up.
Mom, I like being single. Irving and I have a relaxed, perfect relationship.
Irving.
What did he think of your Employee of the Year nomination?
Well, we didn't really discuss it.
What did he say when you stood there begging and whining for him to change his plans so he could come?
I don't know how old she's
left a
supposed to
message
be.
on his machine.
No wonder you have a relaxed, perfect relationship. You never talk to each other.
Jesus.
When I was working on the Bailey presentation, Irving brought frozen dinners to the office 5 nights in a row and microwaved them for me in the coffee room.
So she's single, but she has a boyfriend. So this is interesting. She's going against everyone getting married. She's got a side piece or whatever it's called. She's 40. I guess she's like 30. I guess, I don't know.
How romantic.
I cannot believe it, Mom. Does a man have to say he cares for me in exactly your words or it doesn't count? We have 5 solid years of avoiding any kind of actual verbal commitment with each other, Mom. Does a track record like that count for nothing? Well, you're wrong, Mom. You are wrong, wrong, wrong.
What in the world?
I grew up watching old Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers movies on TV. They were my whole model for romance. I always dreamed that one day a handsome man in a tuxedo would dance me away into the sunset. Then the 60s and the 70s hit. I started dreaming about really doing something on my own. I never quit dreaming that I'd dance off into the sunset with a handsome man in a tuxedo. I just added the dream that when I did it, I'd be the president of a major conglomerate.
Lord.
Surprise, Irving, I'm here. Say those 3 little words that have come to mean so much to us.
She'll kill me.
Oh, crap.
I'm going to kill you.
Oh, I never know what to expect from women. Now, Brenda, Kathy, just wait. I can explain.
Oh, no.
I love your bravery.
Yeah, Kathy, listen.
No, Irving. When I had to
girl
work late
boss.
all last week, you said you understood.
I know I did, but
Now, it is my turn to be understanding. Who was she and what was she doing in your living room?
Oh, it's Saturday night, Kathy. I figured you'd be at the office.
Oh, Irving, I'm sorry.
Irving.
I guess I got a little carried away with my
Sleeping around.
Employee of the Year push.
Well, she made it sound like they were in an open relationship. She's talking about she's single, but they've been together. She wants a threesome. They need to just sleep around. She's getting loose with it, with all that. Okay, let's meet the real Kathy.
Right, last week, Kara had the chance to meet an icon. Kathy Geiswhite created the unforgettable comic strip Kathy that was posted on refrigerators all over America for 34 years.
That's right, and one day Kathy decided it was time to live life without a daily deadline. She's just out with a new book now called 50 Things That Aren't My Fault, Essays from the Grown-Up Years.
As Kara explains, it gives us a glimpse into her life now with the same warmth and wit that made us all feel better back then.
I met Kathy Geisweit for a tour of the Mark Twain house in Hartford before her book talk and signing with her fans. The writer just had to see this place.
What? You're a famous writer in one of the most famous writers' house.
Kathy is famous for quipping about the real-life dilemmas women face every day with things like our mothers, jobs, and food.
Every day, the exact same rut. I get up, give myself the big motivational speech, feel self-righteous for 2 hours, eat a donut. Why do I even bother with the preamble? Why not just get up, eat the donut, and be done with it?
Who inspires you?
Charles Schulz inspired the comic strip, and probably the rest of my life, because he was the first cartoonist who really wrote about real emotions in the comic strip. Before then, it was jokes, it was gags, and he was unique because he wrote about insecurities and fears and anxieties and feeling left out, and he kind of paved the way for many
it's the cool snack zone. I'm eating peanuts right now.
I don't think it ever would have even occurred to me to put my angst down in drawing and word bubble form if I hadn't grown up reading peanuts.
Really? Did he ever know that? Did you ever get to meet him?
Oh yeah, I met him. In fact, he tried to teach me how to draw. So I have some very cute drawings of Kathy that look just exactly like Charlie Brown.
That's awesome. That's great.
Kathy grew up in Michigan and went to the University of Michigan like me. She became an ad exec, but used to send her mother comic strips about her troubles at work. Her mother pushed her to send them to a publisher, even going to the library to research addresses for her. Kathy did, and the rest is history. With daily deadlines for 34 years, though, Kathy gave up the comic strip to spend more time with her daughter and aging parents, but still misses it.
It was a circle of reassurance. I would write something and that I
Let's
know
get some new Kathys out here.
Women. And women would write to me and then reassure me that I wasn't the only one who had that. And it was kind of this lovely circle. I miss that a lot.
Her new book, 50 Things That Aren't My Fault, Essays from the Grown-Up Years, brings her trademark humor to what Kathy calls...
Speaking of live-action Kathy, we actually have... There is a live-action Kathy. And it's this comedian here. She does live-action... She does live-action Kathy. So it is.
Hi, I'm Kathy. After 34 years of the Sunday Funnies, my cartoon is being canceled. Charlene and Andrea say I'm outdated. They're gonna teach me to update my image. I just want someone to teach me how to eat without getting fat.
You guys won't believe it. My cartoon was canceled.
Wait, no shit, Kathy. You're outdated and offensive towards women.
Yeah, you came to career day at my daughter's school, and now Julie thinks her happiness is related to her thighs.
Oh boy, Charlene's offended, and she quit her job to be a housewife.
But I quit for a more important job, raising future generations.
Yeah, well, statistically, you're more likely to get a divorce than not, so I would say investing in a career would be the no-fucking-brainer here.
Andrea's such a tough businesswoman. She makes me look like the love child of Good Housekeeping and Cosmo magazine.
Kathy! This is not your comic strip. Your comic strip is canceled. Stop commenting.
The comic strip is
You're
canceled.
right. I'm a cartoon joke of a person. You have to help me.
You know, I used to think this was funny, but it's a whole new world now, Kathy.
God help us, we're gonna have to make her a feminist.
I'll be a feminist as long as it doesn't make me look fat.
Stop it! No adult eats cake with their hand.
And stop saying ack. I mean, who in real life actually ever says ack to anything?
Okay, baby steps. For starters, let's try a fork.
Why? Is it more
Kathy's so
empowering?
freaking stupid.
No, it's just less disgusting.
Heck.
Kathy.
She's the Mars Attacks alien.
Oh, I'm a grown woman. I can't use a fork correctly. How am I going to correct my image?
Well, soda water for starters.
Soda water's going to help my image? That really does fix everything. I wonder if it'll fix Irving's sexual attraction to me.
No, it's just for the stage.
Sleeping around.
Aren't you worried about reinforcing the stereotype that women try to change everyone?
Shut up and eat your cake.
Nothing's a better negotiation tool than guilt. Just ask my mother.
Ack.
Ah!
Oh my god. That's pretty good. She just goes, ack. Maybe she's got some. Maybe she's got some funny stuff in here. I don't know. No, this is kind of funny. I found this.
Hi, Kathy. I just wanted to say thank you for 34 years of making America smile and showing us the humor and the hell that it is swimsuit shopping.
And now I added
trying
the
to
laugh track. So
go on a diet when other foods taste so good, and dealing with a mom who always thinks she's right. And even when she is, you don't want to tell her that. So I hope your retirement goes well. I feel like this is kind of bittersweet. Because I know you're going to have a good retirement, but it's going to just be really sad not seeing Kathy whenever I open up the Sunday paper anymore. But I hope, thank you again for 34 years of making America.
That's funny. He's a simp for Kathy. Yeah, this is kind of cool. The Sunday, the Fantastic
Comic
Funnies.
strips are as uniquely American as baseball and Thanksgiving. For the past 85 years, the Funnies have entertained us on
Funnies.
stage, screen,
Sunday
radio, and
Funnies.
television. Tonight, we proudly present the truly fantastic Funnies.
The Fantastic Funnies.
Us now,
fantastic
Funnies. From Beetle Bailey to Charlie Brown, from Dagwood Bumstead to Hagar's Town, they're great. And how fantastic Funnies are now.
Welcome to the Fantastic Funnies, starring as your host, the beautiful star of WKRP in Cincinnati, Lonnie Anderson. With special guest star Johnny Fever himself, Howard Hessman, and special added attraction Keen Curtis and Patricia Patz from the hit musical Annie. Also starring 15 of the most famous cartoonists in comic strip history, plus animation of 25 of your favorite all-time comic characters. All this and much more on the
Fantastic Funnies.
They're great, and how fantastic Funnies, oh wow! From Orphan Annie to Alley-Oop, from Barney Google to Mama Soup, they're great, and how fantastic Funnies are.
The Fantastic Funnies, sponsored.
Good evening and welcome to our very special show.
To the
By a
Fantastic
strange
Funnies.
coincidence, at one time in my life, I was going to be an animator. In fact, I studied art at the University of Minnesota. But never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that someday I would be animated. But in order for me to gather up all our stars for tonight's special, I'm going to have to go into the world of comic strips. A trip made possible by the magic of animator Bill Melendez. I thought I should probably look like Olive Oil, but Bill thought I might be better as a Daisy May type.
She's animated.
Whoops, be careful, Bill. I'm very, very ticklish. Okay, Bill, that's great. Now, if you could just shrink me down to size. Hey, that's perfect.
Hey, it's all of our funny friends.
Oh, hiya, gang.
Miss Anderson,
It's Peanut.
on behalf of all the comic strip
Peanut himself.
characters, I'd like to welcome you to the world of the Funnies.
Well, thank you, Charlie Brown, and I'd like to introduce all of you to our audience.
Great.
Well, first, let's meet the kids who never grow old. Charlie Brown and Lucy.
Bon.
Nipper from Wee Pals. Dennis the Menace.
He's a
Nancy and Sluggo. And, of course, Little Orphan Annie. Next, our all-time
Give her some
favorites for the
pupils.
past 40 to 50 years.
Look at all
Blondie and
these
Dagwood.
bunnies.
Dick Tracy. Barney Google with the goo-goo googly eyes. Alley-oop. And my all-time hero, Prince Valiant. Next, our comic strip heroes who started in the 1950s and 1960s.
These are all the Fantastic
Pogo,
Funnies.
Tumbleweeds, Miss
Tumbleweeds.
Peach, BC, and Beetle Bailey.
Beetle Bailey.
Next, our stars from the 1970s. Doonesbury, Broomhilda, Drabble, Kathy, and Hagar the Horrible. Okay, I'd never forget you. The most famous group of animals in the whole world. Snoopy, Daisy,
Zitz.
Red Bassett,
Zitz was in the 90s.
Marmaduke, and a newcomer, Garfield the cat.
As a newcomer.
Hold it.
Watch out.
We don't have much time.
He hates
I have
Mondays.
to get you all back to my world.
But Lonnie, we've prepared a special song for this occasion.
But if I don't get you all back in...
Don't worry, we'll make it quick. Okay, gang, hit
It's
it.
the new guy, Garfield. Here we go. She loves it.
Hey, that was fantastic. Oh, no. I've only got 15 seconds left.
It's going to be a
If we
cartoon
don't get back to
forever.
my world, the show will be ruined.
Don't worry, Lonnie, baby. A little bit of my magic and we'll all be back in your world. Broomhilda's here.
She's got a cigar.
And I ain't no rube. I make things happen on the tube. So, rub your hands and pat your tummies. It's time for those fantastic funnies.
Wow, that was some magic and that was some trip. Okay, everybody, wait in your dressing rooms until it's your
Tripping out.
turn. Okay, Lonnie. You know, those characters weren't kidding when they said they were the
Characters are
stars of
crazy.
stage, screen, radio, and TV. After 40 years of entertaining Americans in newspapers across the country, the comic strips became stars of some of the most popular radio shows of the 1930s. And their theme songs often became popular hits as well. One of them is still going strong nearly 50 years later.
Popeye?
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Some more of
I'm
these
strong
funnies.
till the finish, 'cause I eat my spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Roll me down.
And one of the most listened to radio programs of them all had this
Annie.
famous theme song.
It's a
That
hard
little
knock life
chatterbox.
for us.
The one with pretty auburn locks.
All right.
Who do you see?
Just talking about
It's
peanuts.
little orphan Annie.
I want to go to the Beetle Bailey part.
Always wears a sunny smile.
Talk about all the wars that I love musicals.
Bring on the bun. Happy's little puppy loves everyone because it's summer. Summer, summer. Super duper summer. Super duper 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 duper.
Okay.
Also in 1950, cartoonist Mort Walker began one of the most successful comic strips of all time, Beetle Bailey. Beetle, based on a
Bailey.
close friend of Mort's, was originally a college student, but with the start of the Korean War, Beetle was
Oh, no.
drafted into the army.
The Korean
Actually, I
War.
don't really draw about the Army. I
You
draw
did war
about funny
crimes.
guys that happen to be in the Army. They could be in a machine shop, or they could be policemen, or whatever. You know, there's just a, you have to have the setup of authority and resistance to authority.
We asked Mort in his Connecticut studio if he ever had to resist the authority of his editors with Beetle Bailey.
They objected to me putting a navel when I drew a girl in a
Beetle
bikini.
Bailey.
They would take it out.
Beetle Bailey came back as Don Draper. So spoiler alert, I guess, if you've never seen Mad
And I kept drawing them, and they would keep taking them out. I went down there one day, and here was this editor sitting here with a little box, and it says, Beetle Bailey's belly button box. And in it were all these little black dots. He was saving them. He would take a razor blade and put them in there. And I thought, I'll be darned, you know,
That's
so I'll
weird.
give him something to do. He wants to be an editor, so I began putting extra navels in around the borders and sometimes on the girl's stomachs. I'd put 2 or 3 navels, and he'd take them all out. He had quite a collection of these things.
Kind of weird.
One day I had Cookie on the strip receive a very large shipment of navel oranges with girls on the packages, and of
Loves
course
navels.
every orange had a navel on it. He gave up, never took them out again.
A naval fish.
Sergeant Snorkel is
I thought he
modeled
was
after a
drawing about
sergeant
the
that
army.
Mort served under as an
Not the
infantryman in
Navy.
World War II. This sergeant really worked his troops heavily every day over the obstacle course. And Mort
Sarge.
frequently refers to those times in his strip.
It's the Sarge.
I'll get you, Beetle. Come
you.
back here.
It's like the guy in Full Metal Jacket. You son of a... I'll kill you.
Gotcha. What's the trouble? He's trying to get out of running the obstacle course.
think that's what he
During
sounds
1950 and 51, while
here we
Beetle
go.
Bailey was created on the East Coast and Charlie Brown in the Midwest,
He's a real
out in
pig.
Carmel, California, former animator Hank Ketchum created Dennis the Menace.
I first got the idea for Dennis in 1950, when my son Dennis was 2.5 years old.
Beetle Bailey's going
and
to
doing his
stage a coup.
normal 2.5-year-old
Military
thing.
coup against the
And
Sarge.
someone at that time said, you know, your kid's a menace.
He's going to create the
And
army of the
I thought,
proletariat.
Well, Dennis, a menace? And, you know, the words fell so beautifully together that I thought, you know, what a beautiful idea for
Dennis the Menace?
panel. So there I was, the day when opportunity knocked in the form of a 2.5-year-old tow-headed boy named Dennis.
Or some different
I
stream.
opened
They're
the
talking
door
about
and,
Dennis the Menace and
The kid's been bugging
England.
me ever since. For 30 years, I've been working for
Dennis
that
the
little
Menace.
fella. He never becomes a
British.
juvenile delinquent. He's always kind of in that blessed age that's protected by the law. He's too little to hit and too young to put in jail and too big to put back in
Dennis
the
the Menace
playpen.
has an
He
evil
has
British.
kind of things his own way.
He's an evil British
And lived
twin.
happily ever after.
This is cool. I think we're.
Did you
I
like
think
that?
this came up on a different stream. Somebody else's streams talking about the British Dennis the Menace. He has an evil British twin. There were two Dennis the Menaces. And I think he had to change his name to something else. Dennis the Menace, or the British version. I think he had a different name. Dennis! And his name was Dennis and Nasher. British Comics The Beano. And his hound Nasher. So there were two Dennis the Menaces. The Scottish cartoon. Blah, 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 blah. It's not Dennis the Menace. We're Willy. Yippee! Okay, let's check that out. We're nearing the end, so we've got to cover some other ones. Let's see if it's on the Comics Kingdom. Bibbidi blip. It's the Sunday Funnies. Okay, I'll have to Google it. Scottish. Oh. We're Willie's Big Bucket Trail. Download your free coloring sheet. There he is, in his Big Bucket Trail. Alright. Okay, we don't know about the big. We don't care about the Big Bucket Trail. Let's see if we can find some strips. The National Library of Scotland. Here he is. We'll just watch a cartoon. I love these cartoons because it's the Sunday Funnies. I've no been myself for weeks. When your bucket goes missing, it's like losing a friend. Oh no. He loves his bucket. There's nightmare, just the sea and the land. So I'll go for a paddle and contemplate a space in my garden, and a sunny day the sand it is toasting. My poor Scottish toesies are really roasting. So they had comics in all different countries. This fine sandcastle will get me off the sand. He loves his bucket. My bahoochie. Help, my boob, it's me bucket. He found his bucket. Guy's obsessed with his bucket. Life's no been the same, so come away, wee bucket. Let's gang away, heim. Okay, he found his bucket. Alright, well that's interesting. And his wee bucket. Here's one. This is a classic. Let's do a quick comic roundup to end the show. And of course, there were some other ones I wanted to get to. Of course, as always. Look at some web comics next time. We got one guy lined up here that's pretty good. Maybe I'll post his stuff in the Cool Stream Discord. Anyway, this is Overboard. I liked reading this one. Poop bag from 3-point range, and he throws it in the poop bucket. Thanks for picking up after your pet. With not a lot of live sports in the pandemic, we still look for ways to compete. Good shot. Thank you, sir. We can play again tomorrow. Well, wait, of course we can play again tomorrow, because he's going to poop again. And Mikey JC, he's got a long story about his dog. So Overboard, that one's pretty funny. It's about these pirate guys or something. And of course, BC, that was a popular one. Here's the one from today. And then the evil couch manufacturer said, let's make all couch legs the perfect height so you can just barely touch the tennis ball when it rolls under. You really think they did that, Louis? Jonas, I have been studying this issue a pretty long time, okay? More dog humor. Alright, what's some other classic comics? I used to like this one. Foxtrot. Remember this one? And then somebody asked about Zits, too. We'll have to see what the Zits are up to. Another comic where it's all about the family and no one's ever ages. So here's the dad. He's putting the charcoal in the thing, squirting the stuff in there. All right, Jason, you're up. And then he picks up the lizard, says Dracarys, and that's a Game of Thrones reference. And he says, it's okay, son, I've got matches. And Quincy, come on, we practiced this. Just doing Game of Thrones references now. But that's how you stay relevant as a comic, is doing references and stuff. Let's see if we can... that's the official Foxtrot website. Let's look for Zits. That was one that I used to like. Red and Rover. There's Garfield. Someone has been stealing my chocolates. I want to know who. And you there with the Zits. Okay. Oh, what? This is when they did like a crossover thing for... okay, where's the Zits? There's Tumbleweeds, too. That one's got some racist stuff going on in there. And Mutts, remember that one? That one's funny. I'm trying to find the Zits. I gotta have to Google all these stupid things. Comics Kingdom. That's what we were just at. Cookie jar 7? 4, 5, done. Distancing yard sales are sort of awkward. That's pretty funny. So they're trying to haggle from a distance because they're in the pandemic now. That's just weird. But all the comics, they have to keep up with all the current events and stuff. Here's another one, Zits. The poor kid, he's still in high school with the same girlfriend. So what's the big news? Look, Sarah, I wanted you to hear this from me and not on the street. What's wrong? I have a gray hair. You may be overestimating your street value. zits. He's a high school kid. Jeremy, can you... Shush, I'm writing my will. Now that I have a gray hair, I should get my affairs in order. Which one of you wants my skateboard? You take it. I have my eye on his dirty collection of dirty dishes. That's pretty funny. He's got a gray hair. Let's see. There's another one I was looking for. It's another one I was looking for. This one was weird. Remember this one? Rose is Rose. You ever look at this one? I'm sure it's got to be on the Comics Kingdom. Rhymes with orange. Okay, that's not right. Comic strip, and then we got to end the show. Go Comics. Had some pretty weird artwork on this one. It's an extraordinary nature of everyday life as seen through the eyes of the Gumbo family. The strip stars child at heart Rose and her ASD, attentive surplus disorder husband Jimbo, and their gentle son Pasquale. And so we want to see the comics. Okay, you remember this one? Rose is Rose. Some weird... Had a weird art style. So the husband's sitting in the pool, and the squirrels are eating their nuts. Hey, look! These look like walnut shells. He's not very happy with the mess you made. He should thank me. Debris in the water keeps the pool guy employed. Okay. All right. I should have kept watching that Sunday Funnies show. That was pretty good. So anyway, I saw this little kid and his dad, and I just always thought the art style was pretty weird on this one. Guys, calm down. Sorry, Rose, I can't control them. My toes get a little unruly whenever I take off my socks. Anyway. Summer Moments of Bliss. Sprinkler training with members of the Underwater Exploration Squad. Okay. Anyway, that's just one that I remember from way back when. And let's see if I got any more. I had the mirth and misogyny of Andy Capp. Well, let's see if I got any other videos. Maybe we'll do some more videos. And here's we have the Fantastic Funnies. That was pretty funny. I don't really care about Dennis the Menace. BC, that's a good one. The Fantastic Funnies. Well, let's just see what this is. Another musical number, I guess.
First, I'll read the funnies. Another busy day. The kids are dogging the PTA, funnies. But first, I'll read the funnies.
The key to a good start is a chuckle or a smile. Before things get too hot, relax a little while. We got a funny feeling. It's gonna be a long, long day. But first, we'll read the funnies to start off with a grin. First, we'll read the funnies, then let the day begin.
Whoa.
My work is so exciting, I travel everywhere. But when I need a break, the funnies are right there.
I fell for the
got home.
funnies,
Hey,
now
we're
I
just
don't
about
feel so
ready to
low.
end the show.
I like to take them with me to read when things get slow.
I have a whale of a time in the ocean. I count fish when I go to sleep. But I take time out for the funnies when things get a little too deep.
Some fly through the air with the greatest of ease. I fly through the air with the greatest of funnies.
Everybody reads the funnies.
For fun or money's sake, we find it most relaxing to take a funny's break. We may all be different. We all have different ways on almost any question.
We love the
We all have
funnies.
something different to say, but we all read the funnies.
Good Lord.
We
funny, the funnies. We all love the funnies. We're just funny. That's
Andy Cat.
Andy
My
Cat.
husband can be the greatest blessing
And
or
read the
the
funnies.
greatest curse of a woman's life. But she's never quite decided which.
Back in 1958, one of the most successful comic strips of our time was created by Johnny Hart. We visited with
Andy
Johnny in
Cat.
his studio in upstate New York and asked him how the famous BC got started.
I used to do magazine cartoons a lot, and for some reason, I always loved cavemen because they were so stupid and simple.
It's Lonnie Anderson. She's from.
But I could never
TV
sell them to
show.
a magazine. One night, when I was going home from work, I said, I think I'll go home and create a nationally famous comic strip.
I'm gonna create a
And everybody
famous
laughed,
comic
and they said,
strip.
why don't you do one on cavemen? You can't sell them anyplace else. I figured that was a mandate. So that evening, I went home, had about 4 beers, and sat down and created a caveman
4 beers.
character, which the obvious name with simplicity would be BC.
Before Christ.
The moral of this animated scene from BC is never mess around with a turtle's tail.
Love the funnies. There's just the Flintstones. DC do a 9/11 comic. I was trying to find all the 9/11 I was trying to find all the 9/11 comics. I couldn't find a good website for it because there was the Snuffy Smith one.
In 1954,
Okay, this sounds. I don't.
the comics came along.
Marmaduke. I don't care about Marmaduke if it's saved on my phone. What? Well, what's a good website for all the 9/11 comics? Let's see, 9/11 comic strips. He's got most of them. Dang, I should have went to the Funny Pages channel. There's the cartoonist Remember 9/11. Even Zitz did one. But a lot of these are just remembering 9/11. Like, oh, here it is. Well, it says 2017. Wait, Zitz says, seriously, do we have to do this every September 11th? Come on, Jeremy. Not different Jeremy. Lean it a little to the left, okay? You guys, the sun is setting. Never forget. There it is. They did a little tribute to the towers. Oh god, here we go. Beetle Bailey. Oh no. Where's everyone? The place is empty. They went to remember the victims of 9/11. I do that every day. No. So I don't know when. Oh, that's from Twitter. Maybe this guy's got a good thread on it. Jeremy. Different Jeremy. I thought there might be a good thread on here. Let's see. Hmm. 9/11, the best Beetle Bailey. This guy's. He was doing a. This is a cup of your piss. So it's come to this, serving your own piss. Will you ask for the number 1? Oh, you're such a lousy bastard. Beetle Bailey was part of the inside job. Oh, that's funny. That's the guy who's always... Okay. That's pretty funny. This is a guy doing a spoof of it. We love spoofs, and we love the funnies, don't we, folks? I'm going to do one more. This is some good ending music. I'm going to save this. One more. Because we never talked about Doonesbury. Can't talk about strips unless you're talking about Doonesbury. And that was one of those that I just didn't understand at all as a child, as a kid. But I found this one. One of the characters was on Larry King Live. It's kind of weird. Duke. Whatever it takes. He's one of the characters. I don't know anything about him. Duke. I just remember there was a big a big joint that was in Doonesbury, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Attention copy editors and news analysts around the world. Let's go right to Washington, D.C., where we start with Duke, Ambassador Duke, the former governor of American Samoa, the former ambassador to China, and obviously a nervous smoker.
Mallard Fillmore.
Duke is prepared to make a major announcement
some
tonight, right out of the
cartoons
cartoon
on a
strip
different
Doonesbury. Let's make it.
It's
Are
drill.
you running for president?
Larry, you heard it right here. Yeah, I am running, Larry, and I want to shake things up.
It's
in
Uncle
Washington.
Duke
I want to be the
Doonesbury.
ferret in the pants of government, and I'm announcing it right here because this is, let's face it, ground zero for American politics.
Okay.
You are where the rubber meets the road, big guy.
You got it on the nose. Now, are you running independent, one of the parties, or Reform Party? Where are you making your entrance?
Well, Reform Party right now. I'm just an average Joe. I've got nothing but a shoe shine, a smile, and a pillowcase full of soft money over there. I'm running for reform against Pat Buchanan right now.
What's your education policy?
How do they do this animation?
I think the education, the public education is bloated and inefficient. I'd streamline it, and I mean streamline the heck out of it. I'd hire one teacher for each subject, and give them a cable channel, and let the kids watch from home. I mean, we like our kids to get a good education, but we also want someone home when the package comes. So what I would do, like the proponents of network television say kids learn everything from TV. Well, let the kids get their education from an institution they actually respect. Now, there's a sweeping proposal for you.
And when we come back, Ambassador Duke, we're going to hear the comments of Roland Evans and Robert Novak. They'll make your first announcement on you, and then our panel will join us, and we'll have you remain for a while, okay?
Uncle Duke.
And thank you, Ambassador Duke. When we come back, Evans and Novak comment on this historic night, and then Marv, Franken, and Carlson. Don't go away.
And then there was I found this. This is kind of fun. Speaking of all the freaking musicals.
The entire Doonesbury gang has moved from Walden to Broadway.
There's the Doonesbury musical.
There's drama, romance, excitement, and sensitivity.
We're talking human garbage here.
And music.
It's the Doonesbury musical.
Doonesbury's got it all. Doonesbury has hit Broadway like a...
Doonesbury, the musical.
Doonesbury, the musical, has come of age at the Biltmore Theater. They're finally graduating.
For $40,000, they have to give you a diploma.
It's time to face the human race.
We've got a lawyer. We've got a lawyer. Everything's going to be okay. What a relief.
Attend an exercise in hilarity. Doonesbury, the musical, at the Biltmore Theater.
It's Doonesbury, the musical. All right. That's been the Sunday Funnies. It's been a lot of fun doing the show today. Thanks everybody for watching. I love the lawyer jokes and all the... I don't know what the Doonesbury was about. We love the comics and the Sunday Funnies, and it's the Sunday early stream. Thanks for coming in, watching the show. We'll be back. We'll be back in a couple weeks. In the meantime, if you're a subscriber on Patreon, check it out. We got some cool stuff over there. Thanks for watching the show. Maybe you ought to make some of this, some of the podcast stuff, make it free for everybody to check out. And there's supposed to be a Patreon. There we go. Maybe we'll release one of the episodes for free so everybody can listen. So we got quite a backlog now, and it's pretty fun. Anyway, it's been the cool stream doing comics. It's a fun topic. We got to watch some different cartoons and live action, like Kathy. So anyway, that's been the show. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time in a couple weeks. And all that good jazz. Thanks for watching. Just waiting for the song to end. La la la. It's the Funnies on Sunday morning. Everything is fun. Do, do, do. When you watch your favorite cartoons and you read them on the newspaper. There's Marmaduke. Oh, I guess I gotta get my credits thing ready. I always forget to do that. Anyway, thanks for watching the show. We'll see you next time. See you in a couple weeks on
The Cool Stream.
On the Cool Stream. Bye-bye. We'll see you next time. It's time for those famous credit sequence.
Thank you for watching The Cool Stream with Beowulf. Woo! This was The Cool Stream with Beowulf.
Beowulf.
Thanks, Beowulf. Have a good one.
Yeah. Beowulf.
Oh, yeah.
What is up, everyone?
Ooh, it's so good.
What is up, everyone?
Dunk your head in the hell toilet. That is crazy.
See the nuts toothpaste.
Look at that.
Man.
You best better back off. I'm getting pissed.
Oh, yeah.
You actually know what the fuck you're doing.
Woo! What is up, everyone?
I call myself a philobibliac.
Look at that. Wow. Look at that.
Willst du mich kann, oder?
Oh.
Cancel.